All right, so let us now start our discussion for today. So are you guys ready now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, before we'll start our discussion, do you guys have questions or clarifications regarding with our activities or topics last meeting? None? All right, so I guess none since no one's speaking. All right, so for our topic for today is application of relations and databases. All right, so let's start with relational databases. So we have here a by in a relation R refers to binary, which has two columns in a table. So from the word by, as you guys may all know, by means two, okay, or double. So in forming a relation, of course, you need two elements. That's why it's called by. All right, so of course, it's not only limited to two, but you can have more than two, like what we call the n-ary relation. Okay, like if it's already more than two, like you have four elements which is related with each other, then that one is already called n-ary relation. All right. So as you can see, this is a table wherein we have the ID number, the name, position, and then age. So this person has an ID number of 22012, and then this person has a position of C and then at age of 22. So as you can see, this row is in relation with one, okay, with one person only having one ID, having one age, having one position, and so on and so forth. Okay, so as you can see, we have five rows having their own relations with each attributes or columns. All right, so those tables or those elements can actually be expressed as a set, like this one. Okay, so this is one array or n array relation. This is another n array relation up to five tuples. Okay, so as you can see, we have five n array relation. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. All right. So did you guys understand this one so far and how we come up with such a set?
Yes po, sir.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. So with database, this one actually has four uh, parts. We have the tuple, attributes, and then key and query. But before that, okay, so let's talk about the meaning of database first. So what is database? So it is a collection of records that are manipulated by a computer. Okay, so if it's a data node that is stored in our computer, then that one is already a database or just a data. Okay, and another thing here is computer systems are capable of storing large amounts of information in databases, of course. But of course, that depends on the capacity of the storage of the computer. All right, so we have here the tuple. So what is this tuple? Tuple refers to a record or rows in the table, and attributes is the fields or columns of an array relation. So to make it simple, when we say tuple, just think about rows. Okay, one horizontal row. And then when we see attributes, we're talking about columns. Okay, one vertical column. And the next one here is the most important part of a table or a database. In every database, everything or every element has a key. Okay, what is this key? So this key is consists of one or more attributes that uniquely identify a tuple. Okay, so why is this important? Because if you're going to take a look at this one, the ID number is always unique on every element or in every row. Okay, but in names, so they can have the same name, the same position, the same age, but for ID number, it cannot. Okay, so it must be uniquely uh, indicated on every row or in every element. All right, the last one here is not actually a part, but this is just a way on how to request an action, let's say retrieve or upload or edit or delete or change an information from the database. Call it one query. All right. So let's have a short discussion. We have the same table just like what we have on the past slides. So identify tuples, attributes, and key from the table below. So how many tuples do we have in this table? Anyone? How many tuples do we have in this table?
4, sir.
4?
po.
5, sir. 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 tuples. So again, when we see tuples, we're talking about the row. Okay, how about attributes? How many attributes do we have?
4.
4, sir.
4, sir.
The ID number, called name, position, and then age. So when we see attributes, we're talking about the columns. All right. How about key? How many keys do we have?
5.
So as you can see, we have 5 keys. So actually, tuples is same with key. But when we say tuples in general, we're talking about the entire row. But when we say keys, we're only talking the ID numbers. All right. So my question before is, how many keys do we have? Of course, 5. So now, what is the key, or yeah, what is the key number of Miss Baterina? Is it difficult, guys? What is the key number of Baterina?
58199.
58.
58199.
Yeah. So my question is super simple. Okay, so just take a look or look for the names of Baterina, and then the ID number is 5819. All right. So let's now move on to the next one. So we have here operators for databases. So you guys may already familiar with this 4, but for these two, so this one is new to you guys. All right, so let's talk about them one by one. So we have selection operator, wherein we have this symbol. I guess this one is delta. Okay, could you guys please recheck if this one is really delta or no? Forget. And then we have this project operator, which is symbolizing, or it's being symbolized by a pi. And then we have join operator. So we have here an like cardinality and then x inside, or absolute value and then x inside of it. And then union, we still have the same symbol, so this u, and then intersection is just the inverted u, and then the difference is just negative or minus. All right, so what is this selection operator? When it's the selection operator, what you're trying to look into here is the row or the entire row of a certain table, right? Meaning you're going to display or you're selecting the entire row of that table. Next one here is project operator. So when we say project, of course, if we have row, we also have column. Okay, so this one is talking about, or it will display or will show the column of your tables. Okay, so this is one way to show a certain table or a certain attributes, rather, not a table. Okay, so in that table we have a ways to choose what are the columns that we're going to show, so you can use project for that. And then in here you can also choose a certain part of your table wherein you can only show parts or some parts of row on that table. All right, and then when we see join operator, so from the word itself you can combine two tables. Okay, but we have call this one, we have a rule, or we have a condition. Okay, you have a condition, a requirement before you can join such table. And then the same with union. Okay, so you can unite, or you can combine two tables just by getting the, call this one, or so join operator, you can combine them side by side. But when you say union, you can combine them also, but vertically. Okay, so for you to join them, okay, they must have the same attributes. The same with intersection, that instead of like joining two tables, you're only getting the common elements or attributes inside of those tables. And then difference, of course, you're going to subtract a certain table onto a certain table. So let's say table A minus table B, or table B minus table A. So depending on the format uh, of your expression will be the result of that certain table. All right. So much with like overview information with those. So let's now talk about selection operator. So just a clarification, just would like to confirm what is the name of this one? Is this really delta? Is there someone who checked what is the name of this symbol? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir. It's delta po.
This one is delta, right? So for selection, we have delta, and then for project, we have pi. All right, so this one chooses a certain n tuples from a relation. Like for example, you only want to show, let's say this one, position, which is equal to p. So let's say the name of this table is player. Okay, so this is now the name of this table. So select player table, and then the condition, which is position is equal to p. So if you're going to take a look on this one, so position, we only have two tuples which has a position of p. So we have Baterina, Hontiveros, yeah, those two only, Baterina and Hontiveros. So of course, it will only display those two tuples or those two rows, okay, with the use of delta or select. All right. So did you guys get this one so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
take
sir.
note when we say select, it will display the entire row. Okay, we don't have a way to display only the name and then the ID number. Okay, it will retrieve everything from that row. All right. All right, next one here is find the output of the following commands. So same table, we have 3 questions here, wherein of course you already have the answers. Okay, let's analyze this one. So select player. So again, this is the table name player, and then a bracket wherein age is greater than or equal to 30. So it will only retrieve a row or a tuples wherein age is greater than or equal to 30. So if you're going to take a look in this table, we have this one, and then we have this one also. So as you can see, 2 tuples only. So since we have 2 tuples which were able to meet these requirements, then it will display now those 2 tables. All right. So did you guys get this one so far? For the select layer age is greater than or equal to 30.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Next one here is select player, where in name is equal to Acosta. So in here, we're going to look for the name where it's equal to Acosta. So here, so is there any other name that the same with Acosta? So no. So since there's only one, then it will display one tuples only, which is this one. One tuple rather, not tuples. Okay. And then for the last one, select player position is equal to P and age is greater than 30. So you're not limited to one condition only. So you can have 2 conditions or more. All right. Just use this operator and right. So from there, we have position is equal to P. We have 2 actually. But then again, we have another condition wherein age is greater than 30. And if you're going to take a look at this one is not more than 30. So will not display this one. But this one is greater than 30. So we will retrieve this entire tuple. So as you can see, this is now that tuple. All right, so did you guys understand this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so if you guys have a questions or clarifications, please ask me as soon as possible, right? Okay, so we have here commands under select. So we have sum, average, minimum, maximum, and then count. Okay, so already explains the meaning from their name. So sum is a summation of a certain elements or table. And then average is will of course will compute average. And then minimum is will get the minimum or smallest number, and then max will get or return the largest number, and then count will return the frequency of a certain tuples or attributes. All right, so write the commands for the following queries. So we have the same table. Okay, but we have here a question. What is the average age of all the players? Anyone who wants to answer letter A? All right. So let's try if we can copy this one. No, we cannot. So I'll just use the word select instead of a symbol. But to be exact, the one that you're going to use is symbol, not the word select. Okay. So in here, the question is, what is the average age of all the players? So select, and then what is the name of this table again?
Player, sir.
Player.
So it's a good thing that some of you are paying attention to the name of this table. Right, so the next one here is the condition, okay? So what is the condition that we need to put here to get the average age of all of those players? So we can check this one. All right, so for now, I'll answer letter A and then I'll let you guys answer B, C, and then D. All right, so of course, we're going to compute the average of the attribute age. So as simple as that, age is equal to average. Okay, so this is the answer for letter A. How about letter B? Okay, of course, we're still using the same name variable since we only have one table. So how many players are there?
5.
Yeah, we know that there's 5, but we should let the computer compute how many players that are there in a certain table. So of course, we have to use a certain command and some format like this one, select player. So what is that command that we'll be using?
Count.
Age is equal to count.
Again? So
Age
attributes
is equal
first.
to count.
Age is equal to count. Okay. Well, yeah, it will give you the same answer, like it will count how many age are there. But instead of using age, maybe we'll just use name. Okay, so we'll count the players name, and then it will give you the frequency, how many players are there. So in here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, name is equal to sum. Okay, so Miss Feya, it's not sum, okay, because we're not getting the summation. Okay, so we're only trying to see how many players are there in a certain or in this table. All right, how about letter C? How old is the youngest player? So we'll be using the same table name, but what is our attribute and then what is the command that we're going to use?
Age is equals to minimum, sir.
Age is equal to
Minimum.
minimum. Okay, for minimum, it's only MIN. All right, very good. How about letter D? Who is the youngest player? Anyone? Who is the youngest player?
Sir, name tapos min.
Mean tapos mean. Because when you say mean, it will compute or it will compare rather for numbers. Well, it cannot compare strings or letters. So we'll use the same, of course, since we're talking about youngest or oldest. course, we're still talking about your age. So age is equal to minimum. Okay. But then again, the main question here is who is the youngest player? Okay. So yes, we have answered that the age is minimum is say 18, and then it will display the entire table. Like for example, display only the name of that youngest player. So we will use now the project. Okay. So we have this format, project, then close and open parenthesis. And then the last one here will be the only attributes that will be displayed on that certain table. Okay, so of course the close and open parenthesis that is the one that will be processed first. So select their age is equal to minimum, so it will look for the minimum age, which is this one. Then after that, it will only display the name, okay, which is Baterina. All right, so later on we'll discuss more about projects so that you guys will understand what is this project. But for the letter D, this one is already correct. This one. Right? So you can just answer this one and then it will get, or it will retrieve this entire tuple. Okay. All right, so let's have more examples. So we have here a table customer, table history cost, table credit card, table merchant, and then table charge. So we have 3 questions. So first one here is display the sum of all amounts transacted to account number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So here are their tuples. So this, I'm sorry, this is the attributes rather. Attributes of this table, attributes of this table, attributes, attributes, and then attributes. So question number 1. Display the sum of all amounts transacted to account number 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone who wants to answer number 1? Display the sum. There you go. So where is that amount and where is that account number can be found on this table? What is
Select
it?
charge.
Right, so we have here credit card. So we have the account number and then the, oops, no.
Charge. Select charge.
Pardon?
Charge po.
Charge. All right. So we have here the charge. So we have here the account number and then the thought amount. Okay. So amounts here is the thought amount. All right. So what is the format, or what is the first thing that we need to put here? So operator first. So we're going to use select. And then what is the table name? La, sabi na kanina eh. What is the table name?
Charge.
Charge, right? The next, followed by the condition. So what are our conditions?
Account number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Account number is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what?
And total amount equals sum.
Thought amount is equal to, right, very good. So this is the correct answer for number 1. How about number 2? What is the minimum credit limit given to a customer? So all you need to do is find this attribute on those tables.
Sir, credit card.
So it's under credit card. So select credit card. So take note, whatever is the format of that table, if everything is capital, then you should put your capital also. If the format is like this, so only the first letter is the capital, then copy as it is, okay? So if you're going to put here a small letter card, then this one is a different table already. Okay, and if ever this table cannot be found on that database, then you're going to get, or you're going to have an error on your code already. Okay? So be careful when it comes to names of certain element or table name. Credit card is equal to, so what is the condition that we're going to use? Anyone?
Credit limit, sir.
Credit limit is equal to
Min.
min, okay, or minimum. Right? How about number 3? How many credit cards that were open today? So which table? Select
Credit card.
credit card. Is
Date
equal
open.
to
Date.
date open. Very good. And then equals
Count. Count.
Count.
very good. Okay. That's one. What is the average credit limit of all the credit cards used by customer ID 25?
Customer. Select customer.
Customer ID is unique. No. So
Credit card.
we're looking for credit limit and then
Credit card.
it's credit card. Very good. So credit card is equal to, so what is the condition?
Credit limit.
Limit.
Credit limit is
Is
equal
equal
to
to AVG.
APG.
AVG average. What else?
And customer
And
ID.
customer ID.
Customer ID equals, ID
25.
is it credit cards used for? Yeah. All right. So that's it for this example. You guys have a question so far?
None, sir.
None, sir.
All right, so let's continue to the next one, which is the projection operator. So if we can display the entire tuple, we can also display an entire column, okay? So in here, this projection operator, which is symbolized by pi, this one selects columns in the table with duplicates eliminated. So take note, as you can see right here, we have here this additional process, wherein if ever there is a duplicate elements, it will eliminate immediately from that. So we have the same syntax. Okay, we have the operator for the symbol, and then the name of that table, and then followed by the condition or the column itself. Okay, the one that you're going to display. So if you don't have a condition, then if you want to display an entire column, then just put here the name of that column. Like for example, name and then position. So it will only display the name and then position. So it will not filter out anything from that rows. But if ever, let's say you want to filter out position is equal to P only and then age is greater than 30, then you have to uh, use this one, okay? So we have the operator project followed by the close and open parentheses, and then the select format, the condition, and then the attributes or column that you're going to display. All right. So yeah, this is our first example. So did you guys get this one so far? And how did we get the name and position?
Yes.
All right. So as simple
Yes,
as that,
po.
just put here the name of that attribute. So we have here a discussion that I am now, or I am discussing a while ago. So we have here the project, and then close and open parenthesis, and then followed by the operator select, and then the table name, and then the condition, and then the attributes or columns that you're going to display. Okay. And then for letter B, we have another one, but just a different condition. Okay. And then different columns that we're going to display. So in here, we're now going to display the name, position, and then age. Right, so give you guys 10 seconds to analyze this one. So if ever you're confused, please let me know. So did you guys get this one so far? A and B? Are you guys confused? Okay, so please let me know if you're confused so we can explain this one by one. Miss Sumo, Mr. Catores or Miss Catores, Miss Giselle,
Sir.
yes?
Sir, is this like SQL?
Basically close enough. Yeah, super similar, but there are some formats which is not the same with this one. Okay, but when say the concept, super similar, like 99% super close.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So where is the part that you guys are confused with project? So as you guys can see, we have the same format for select. It's just that we are now filtering, okay, as you can see right here, we are now filtering, or we are only going to show the column name and then age. Okay? We filtered out the other attributes. So the same with this one, the same format for the select. It's just that we are now only showing the name, position, and then age. Okay. We remove the ID number, because if you're going only to use the select layer format, then you won't be able to choose the attributes or columns that you're going to display on your interface. Are you guys okay now with project?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. How about the others?
Okay na, sir.
Sir.
Okay na, sir.
All right. So let me know if you were confused in some parts so that we can discuss it one over again. Anyway, so that's it for the project. We have here the join operator. Okay, so as like what I've said a while ago, you can combine two tables, okay, side by side using a join operator. And then here's a symbol for join operator. And then we have here the table 1 and then table 2. And then here's the syntax for combining such tables. So this operator first, followed by the name of the first table. Let's say R1 for now. And then the link attribute. So what is this link attribute? So this is very important. This link attribute means they must have two columns, or yeah, two columns which is the same with each other. Okay, like the entire elements of that column, and then the entire column elements of the other column must be super the same. So like here we have the ID number and then the PID. So as you can see, 22012 can be found on the PID, which is this one. And then 93831 can also be found on the PID. And then 58199 can also be found on the PID. So everything must match on when it comes to the values of the ID number or PID or whatever is that attributes. Because if there is one that is different, like for example, this one 01180, and then on the other side is 01181, then you won't be able to combine a certain table. You will get an error for that. All right. So that's one very risky thing when it comes